Bop's Garden. I'm Bop. Today we're going to talk about viburnum. This is Viburnum plicatum tomentosum. That's a bit of a mouthful, but they're also called double file viburnums. They bloom on old wood. Here are the blooms here from the earlier on. These are going to turn into berries. So when we're pruning, I've established this framework. You can see all this tall growth in here. We have to come down because we have windows behind here that would be obscured. And we also have this walkway. We got to get this back. So we're going to prune to this line here. We're also using some Japanese styling techniques that we're borrowing from bonsai. This is when we do this in the landscape, it's called Niwaki. And what we're doing is we're layering in here. We're making a space for the birds to nest. That's one of the bonsai principles. And we're also taking away direct downward growth. And we're also avoiding what's called bar branches, branches that come directly across from each other, because all those things interfere with the design, the flow. All good artwork has movement. And as your eye is going over this, things may be jarring. So this is why we have these rules. If you see a bar branch, you know something's wrong in here, and your eye stops at that point. So we've made this layering. So I've already started on this one over here. Here is the flowers which will turn into berries. And we're just coming down to this point. This is all the growth that we had in here, and we got to bring this down to this level. So we're creating this cloud pruning on this. Normally, these would totally fill in as shrubs. And you can see down here how it's starting to grow all in. This would completely fill in. So we don't want this to look like a shrub. We want this to look like a tree because it's nice and light and airy. If you take a look at this one here, you can see the flow and how nice that looks. So we're going to do some more of these. We won't show you every one of them, but I'm going to move over to this one here. I'll show you a few of the cuts on a close-up here. We just bring our felcos down to this point where there's two leaves, and we'll just remove that as we go, and we start to see the line. We're not going to go below this point because if we go below this point, we're going to lose next year's flowers. When I first came up here 6 years ago, these were all filled in, and that first year was later in the season, so all the pruning I did to train this framework, we didn't get flowers that first year because I had to get at it because it's just totally overgrown. So once we get the framework, every season we just come back down to that level. We don't go beyond this point because we go beyond this point, we'll lose next year's flowers. So we'll show you a couple more examples of this. We'll show you how this one looks over here when we're done. So here's our results. We've got a nice shape to this now. It's open through here. It gives us a nice light, airy feeling, so we're not hiding the house. And going forward, what we need to do is we need to keep these trunks clear of any new growth. After this pruning, we will also get some new growth coming up here later in the season. When we do that, we'll cut back to this framework. So we have established this framework. We're not going below this point, and from year to year, this stays pretty much stable. From time to time, we get some dead wood in here. Some of the branches might break, so we'll make some adjustments to the framework. But each season, we'll cut back to this point and not below it. I want you to see that the leaves are not cut through, and we have the berries here that will be forming. It gives a nice red color to this viburnum, and the birds enjoy that. It attracts the birds in there, and they get fed with that. And next season, all our blooms will be in this point. So anything that grows above this point, we can always bring back down to that framework, and we don't cut down below this point. So that's it for the viburnums, this particular viburnum. And on my our ending credits, there's a photo there of my koi pond, and there's some the same kind of viburnums in that picture. So you can see how that will look with a full white blooms on it in there and the layering that I do. So thank you for watching Bob's Garden. Please subscribe, comment, and share my videos. And remember, be curious, not judgmental.